Hey everybody, welcome back to Safe Haven Valley Railroad. Today I am starting a new build and I am gonna be doing this build without acrylic paints. It is something different, new, and I am just curious to see how it turns out. Today I will be doing my coloring with alcohol markers. That's right, alcohol markers. And I will also be accompanying that with Vantero stains of some degree. So, the build of choice is a kit I got from Mud Creek Models. It's his $10 kit. I believe it's called Borges brotmans Hobbies. So let's jump over to the bench and get this thing started. Okay, everybody, here we are. You'll have to excuse the noise in the background. It has been cold and windy here in Portland, so I have the heat on in the room, but this is where we're at. The kit came in a bag, all folded up instructions, and we're doing this today. We're doing Mud Creek Models in scale brotmans Hobbies MCM Kit 15. It's a kit in a bag, $10 kit. Well, Frank, I told you that I was going to do a kit of yours with coloring it with only alcohol markers. Well, I'm going to be doing that, but I'm also going to add some Vantero to it. So if you're watching this, you're going to find out just as much as I am how alcohol markers with Vantero works, if you're not sure. So, first up, I'd like to go over the instructions real quick. Frank has made the instructions very simple as always. Looks like step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Wow, that's it. That's awesome for a $10 kit. So today I am going to be covering the coloring and the bracing. So the colors that I have chosen to use, for a minute, let me go over what I'm using. These are what I'm using. I'm using Perfected alcohol markers. The colors of choice today are these. In case you don't know what BG5 and CG9 is, this is a cool, it stands for cool gray, number 9, and this is a blue gray, number 5. So this is my wall color. I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do yet. I'm kind of leaning towards the blue-gray to be my building, and then the darker gray to be my trim. Now, I haven't quite decided. I might switch that here in a minute, but that's what those are. So for now, with alcohol likes to curl things, even though they're good at drying quickly. Too much will make things bow and bend. So, I think what I'm going to do is do one light coat of the walls on the walls for the coloring I want. So, is what I'm going to do. So, but first, let me show you what's in this kit. You have brotmans Hobbies sign, which I'm probably going to use it on this kit. I'm going to, for the most part, keep this one simple. So I'm going to make this all original Frank. But I'm just choosing my colors for it. So we're just going to go with it and see how it goes. So yes, Brotmans Hobbies. We have the tar paper. We have our shingles. We have one wall there, another wall there, another wall, and another wall there. Looks like flooring stuff there of some sort. We'll figure that out. Have some various parts here that I'm not familiar with yet in his thing. And okay, so, and we'll soon enough find out what it exactly is and where it goes according to the instructions. So we got several things that are going to happen on this kit. So we got the door there. So the door, this will be whatever the trim color is going to be. The windows, a door, so there's those. And then I'm probably gonna stain the deck with the tarot. The door frame and the door will all get painted whatever trim color is. Like I said, that looks like another door on the building. That will get a trim color. So this will get one color. That will get the same color. That will get the same color. These will get stained. This is roofing material, so that'll go somewhere. These are the roof panels. So that goes with the roof. We'll set that up there for another part of the project. This piece, not 100% sure where Frank decided to put it. But I'll figure that out when the time comes. I think. Okay, so that has a door. There's one door here for the front, which goes there. Wait, no. Okay, Frank. I see what you did. Okay. Alrighty here. So, this is the one side, which will get, that door will go right there and to the windows. Then this door frame will go with that, with the window. There's 4 windows here. So we have 1, 2, there's 3, there's 4. So there's our windows. This door will go right here to the front of the house. And then we have both the side and front stoops that he's got created for it. So we got everything. Just not certain what this one's for. Okay. Well, I'll figure it out later. But first, today let's then we got these flatter pieces, which if you look in there, the flat pieces are the bracing. Then we got the corner joists right here, the corner frames for the walls, and this looks like maybe some trim of some sort that Frank has. So today we're going to focus on just the coloring and kind of get that going, and maybe even get some gluing done. So I'm going to put my instructions right up here where I can see them. Okay, so he's saying, okay, brace the walls and add the corner posts to the front and back walls. Add the windows from the back, and glue in place like pictured. Okay, so what he means by the back, he's got the inside of the building facing up. So when you do the windows will overlap. You'll have like this piece here. Let me get a little pointer here. Okay. This is the frame, that's the window. So the frame will go over the window, which the window will go over the acetate windows. So that will be done at a later time as far as installing the glass acetate. But for now, let's get to the coloring, shall we? Alrighty. I am going to start with making my decision with what I want to do. Sorry about that. My phone decided to just drop out on me for some reason. So anyway, as I was saying, we are going to just do a quick light alcohol, one quick thing over it to let it dry and see how it looks. I might have to go back over it again. I do not know. But we'll see. I do have a sample here of using a brown to show you kind of a single pass and a multi-pass. Okay, so here, and I just took a piece of scrap, piece of wood. So here, I can get it to focus for you clearly. On the right, there you go. On the right here, it's just a single pass, which shows the groove. So if you have like board and batten or something like that that has lines in the actual wood, that's what will happen on the first pass. And then on the left side over here is multiple. See how it leaves kind of, because of the wood, it leaves kind of a random dark brown and light brown spots, kind of like an old barn wood. That's kind of what the alcohol did. So this is just a test, so I'm going to go with it, and what is going to be is what's going to be. Who knows how it's going to turn out. This is my first full kit. It's a $10 kit. I'm not worried about it if it doesn't turn out very well, but I'm going to go into this thing very optimistic that it's going to look great. So, Frank, let's begin. As I was saying, these smaller twigs here are your bracing for the corner trims, and this is just your bracing on the inside. These don't need to be colored unless you want to color them. Again, I'm going to make it Brotmans Hobbies. That's what I'm going to do. But today's session is just going to be coloring the walls and coloring anything that needs color. So I'll get the walls and the trim done, the door and the door frames done, and the window frames and the window sills stuff, all that done. I will not be doing the porch stuff just yet. That'll dry pretty quick, so I can do it on the fly. Then we got our trim here. I'm trying to look and see. So there's multiple ways you can do it. The kit right here on the right is the model that we will build, that Frank built several years back. The kit on the left is what he did with it. If you look closely, he put like a little power line thing on the top and stuff like that. So it's looking pretty cool. So looks like the shingles will go down on the lower part and blacktop on the top. So yeah, this is going to be interesting. It looks like these pieces are going to be trim. So let's get to it. Okay, so choice time. Blue gray for building, or cool gray, which is a dark gray for the building. I'm going to go with the building, it's the blue gray. So building parts will go here, here, here. That's trim. There's a building. Those are going to be stained, so those are not what I need. This is trim, so I don't need that. This is supports, I don't need that. So that leaves the 4 walls. Okay. I always shake up my markers just to make sure that it is. And on this, I have a, come on, fine tip on this end, and then there's a broad tip. I'm going to use the broad tip just to get things done. A tip on using these markers: do not store them standing up and down. That's a no-no. It dries out one end of the marker. To keep them in good shape, lay the case or your markers on their side so that the alcohol can get to both tips and they don't dry out. So, with that said, let's begin. And I'm not going to go very heavy on this. I'm just going to drag it down. Where to begin? I'm going to go with... Actually, before I do this, I'm going to decide to do something a little different real quick. I'm going to rough it up. Just rough it up just to get some of the wood to kind of pop up. And you go with the grain. This will help give it a little bit more of a texture. Now this is not a very heavy bristle. It is metal. So I just go over it back and forth in this just to ruffle up the building a little bit. And then that will help make it have a little more texture to it. I'm hoping. Like I said, this whole kit here is $10 from Frank at Mud Creek Models. And I'm just making engravings on here or ruffling up the walls. This is just to see how it goes. It's a very simple kit to do, and I am looking forward to do it. As always, with these ink kits, you do not need to be very rough with them because you will break them. So be careful with how much pressure you put on them. Alright, that's good enough. So, with that, I am going to... Okay. Looks like this is the way it's going to go. So we're going to go with the grain here, just like you do when you do your alcohol. I'm going to go with the grain. So let's just see how this goes. And I'm not going to push very hard. I'm just going to drag it, almost like I'm going to dry brush it, just to see how it looks. You can always add more. It's like an alcohol ink wash, basically what this marker is. And I'm going to just do it as if I'm going to apply it little by little and see how it looks. Now, I'm not putting very much pressure on here, and it looks like there's something already on here, on the wood, that made it kind of do like a weird design in here, but I'm just going to go with it. Now, I'm not pushing very hard. I'm just making sure every surface gets its color. I'm going to go through the rest of this real quick, and then I will show you what it looks like up front. But the magic is not going to be from the alcohol. The magic is going to bring it, it's going to show pretty cool when I do it. But one thing I've learned from Jason Jensen and other guys that do tutorials on weathering and coloring and all kinds of things is layering. So this is one part of the layer, and you be, I guess, either spontaneous or sporadic with your coloring. So I'm not very experienced with these markers, mind you, so I am just kind of winging it on this project as a learning project, so you'll have to just bear with me. And it's just something totally new. And you know, in this hobby, you got to try something new. Now I got, you know, you see how I got a little darker here and a little lighter there. That's okay. And it can be that way because what I'm going to be adding a kind of a wash to this. Later, but I'm not going to add the wash until I get the bracing on it because it's a little bit heavier. So I'm going to add a little bit more. You want it all to somewhat match. Maybe have a more drier side than the other, so it's a little more on one side than the other, which is okay. Again, these are alcohol markers, so they don't dry, and I'm not getting very messy on here so far, which is a plus. So I'm letting those dry. Now you're looking at this like, what color is this? Well, this is an alcohol marker that's just labeled as a blue-gray. There's blue in with this gray, so we'll see how it turns out. Mind you, I am going to be using a murky brown Vetero stain on this as well. So we are going to get the walls done. And then I'm going to show you up close what it looks like. You don't have to push very hard on these. One, it will ruin your pen. And two, you'll lose a lot of the alcohol in the pen, and then you'll have to go buy replacements fast anyway. So, let that dry for a minute. Put the cap back on. Always put your caps back on when you're not going to use it, because they will dry out quickly. And this looks like it's going to be a little bit of a darker color. So I'm going to change it up to be a little bit lighter of a gray. Just by the way that it's coming out, I'm going to make it a lighter gray. So let's go with, I don't know. Let me see what looks good with that. Let's go with, yeah, we're going to go with Cool Gray 1 instead. Instead of the dark, because you don't want dark on dark. And it came out a little darker than what I thought it would be. So, and they do. The thing about these alcohol markers is, this is the test. It did not come out any different than when I dried. It dried exactly how, maybe just a smidge lighter, but not a whole lot. So it's still a dark color. What color you see is a very close proximate of what it's going to be. So this is a blue-gray. So I will be adding a kind of a wash over this. So I'm over the whole thing. So I'm going to go leave these alone for a second. And then I got to figure out, make sure I have the right side. Yep, this is the back. There's the front, there's the front. Yep, that came out, so I gotta put that back in. Okay, miss. Alright, so this one wants to be a butt and come apart, so I'm going to start with that one for the gray. Remember, shake your pens up. And for this, I'm going to use the fine tip for the small parts. So, just so I can show you, I'm just going to go on here. It's on its whole thing, so there's no window glass in there yet. So I'm just going to go right over it. This part does not really matter a whole lot for the most part. I'm just going to do the small one because I may not like how it turns out because it's so gray and blue gray. I'm not liking that, so I'm gonna change that up real quick. That's not going to turn out very well, and that's why I did that one very first. So we're going to change it from a gray trim. That's kind of a blue gray. Let's go with a different darker shade. Let's go like let's go with like a brown color. Blue, gray, and browns. Let's try that and see what happens here. That's what this whole kit's about. It's just to see how it looks. And before I continue, this is the brown I'm going to go with. There's the brown. And this is the one wall I did. And this is the brown I'm going to put with it. The gray just did not do it for me, so I'm going to switch it to brown. Kind of a copperish umber color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and shake this up. And I'm going to just take my whole marker and just go over everything real quick. Oh, I like that already. I like that already. Umber, you have once again... And I'm not having to push very hard on this, mind you. To make sure I get it all, I just cover the whole piece. It's a lot easier to do that than it is to try to... And I'm not pushing hard on this darn thing either. Okay, so that actually looks a lot better than that gray. It doesn't look like much right now, but I'm going to go over. It'll look a lot better once it's on the building. Right. That door is a little, mind you, this is in scale. So let me do the big door and then you can get a better understanding of it. That door is just small. So I'm just going to go down the door. This marker is kind of like a reddish brown umber color. So when you look at it, just keep it in mind of what it could be for you. And kind of go with it. Now, like I said, I've never used these, so I'm going to go through the entire thing to really see how I like these alcohol markers. Okay, let that sit and air dry for a minute, and I'll work on these others over here real quick. And then I'll go back and show you what it looks like. You know, it just takes a minute for it to dry, but I just want to get all the windows and doors done. And next time, in the next episode, we will be adding, I will be gluing them together, or I might have them already glued together to save time. I'll glue them together, and then I will do installation stuff. Along with, I'll do the walls. I'll trim those supports up, and then we'll get those all ready to go, and then we'll come meet back here on the next episode, and then I will show you how I install the windows for InScale. But either way this turns out, I'm not going to be disappointed. This is just I bought this kit deliberately for this project to see how the alcohol markers measure up and kind of what quality, what can I do with them, how can you really do it with a full kit. InScale so far has not disappointed me. I am yet to be disappointed yet by a kit that Frank has built. So, I mean, right up here is a shelf of all my little models I built. I feel bad I haven't finished the mercantile yet, which is going to be my it's going to be actually become Grandma's sewing shop. But this one right here, I still got to do the stairs and rails. That's pretty much all I got left. And I took a reprieve because I'm not very confident in doing stairs just yet. So I've kind of took a break from that. So let's see. This is the let me just mark this trim down. Just like that. Just a couple passes is probably all you're going to need. And I'm not worried about doing both sides because I don't want to make the wood so bad. So just pass down like this. Pass down just like that. Keep on going. Boom, 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 because you're only going to see that. And then if you're going to do that, you might as well just go down the side while you're at it. Okay. And to do that, all I'm doing is rubbing the marker just very lightly along the edge. That way you don't have, I mean, you'll be doing this with the marker anyway, so you might as well just use it with the marker you're coloring it. So. Alright, so I'm going to show you something here. If it will. Alright. Come on, if this will focus, we can do this right. Okay. Alright. Well, it's not wanting to focus. Okay, there we go. A little bit. The bottom one is only one pass, and the upper one is darker for 2 passes, so I was hoping to get this to show in very well. There you go. So look at the bottom. That's only 1 pass. And that looks pretty good. The upper one has 2, like I said, so that in itself looks good. So that gives you kind of a gauge to look at when you use the markers. The doors are kind of weird. I'm going to have to probably put some more on there, but it's kind of how they turned out. I don't know really what to say about that. But on this other one, look at that. When you're looking up close, it looks really interesting because this wood already has like a burnt color to it though. On the side you use, so it has like the woody like tan mark on it that these kits have. So it's probably just the style of the wood that Frank used, but either way, if you just block that out and you look at the color, it looks good. Now, this wall here, look at those colors. That looks way better. So I will be doing a change with probably with the Vatero maybe. Instead of using the murky brown, because I use brown for the trim, I might use the gray to give it kind of a lighter color. We'll see. I will test that before I apply it, but we'll see. So this will end part 1 of the video. I will come back with most of the windows assembled, ready to go in, and I will cut the bracing and install it next time and get that right in, and the windows and doors all in and everything. These all stick together, so it won't be anything too serious to do. Like I said, the frame, the window, then the acetate. They all stick together with adhesive. So it's just step 1, step 2, step 3, and then Step 1, Step 2, Step 3, Step 4 is applying it. So we'll get to that point in the next video, and we'll get the bracing on. I will get the bracing on in the meantime, and get the windows ready to go in, and we'll do install the windows and pick up from wherever I left off camera, and kind of catch you up at the beginning of the next episode. So with that, stay tuned for the next episode as I go through this kit. Again, I'm liking how it's coming together. I mean, if you look at these, one is lighter than the other, which is okay, because one side of the building always gets more light than the other. So with that, we're going to stop there, and we'll pick up again next time. Until then, happy modeling and stay safe, everybody.